Hi, I'm Lulu. I'm a compulsive overeater. And today we're going to talk about the table of contents in the big book. Um, it was brought to my attention at one time that step one is 30 of the 164 pages of the big book, the text. Uh, 34% of it is step one, 41% of it is step 12, and 25% of it is steps 2 through 11. We always talk about in the recording that we did on the arch. If you haven't listened to that, it's under getting started, I think, the arch, the recording on the arch, and there's also a PDF there to click on as you go through the arch. It's there, it's all through the big book. That's step 1, and step 12 is the foundation of our recovery. They talk about step 1 and step 12 a lot in this book. So if you go through the table of contents, my sponsor went through and kind of identified what, it's not like Bill Wilson had a table of contents. Step 1, go to page this. Step 2, go to page this. Step 3, go to page this. So she showed me that the preface and the forward to the first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth edition, those are all about the growth of AA. It's a lot of numbers. It's history. It's really great. We have on the 12 Step It Up blog spot under getting started, we have a link to a recording by Harlan G, and it's called something like "Let's Back It Up a Bit," something like that. And it's a good little history lesson on AA. In the first, second, third, and fourth edition, it was really all about that growth, and it was all about like, this is how many meetings there are now, and this is how many members, and this is how many people are recovered now. Now we're international. Now our book is in several languages, so it's all about from the first edition to the fourth edition is about the growth of OA. The doctor's opinion is the first half of step 1. I admitted I was powerless over food. What does powerless over food look like? You'll find that in the doctor's opinion. The chapter on more about alcoholism is the second half of step 1, which is really about the unmanageability of life. It has different examples of people. There's the man of 30, there's Jim, and the Fred, the salesman, and the jaywalker, all these people mismanaging their lives, mismanaging their recovery, mismanaging their opinions, mismanaging their joy, mismanaging life. My life is unmanageable. It's like in the doctor's opinion, it's more about what's going on physically, and in more about alcoholism, it's just kind of about that peculiar mental twist that a lot of us share. So chapter 3, more about alcoholism, is the second half of step 1. And then We Agnostics is step 2, part 1, coming to believe that there's a power greater than myself. I would find that in We Agnostics. It's gonna kind of break down every kind of way I'm gonna think that I'm in control. There is a Solution is step 2, part 2. And these kind of seem out of order, and they kind of are. I take my sponsees through this in the order, not in the order they are in this book, but in the order they work according to my presentation today. I mean, it's just the way I was brought through it. We skipped around. We did it all, but we skipped it around because we did it in order. Why? We can't figure out why they're not in order, but that doesn't matter. There is a Solution, step 2, part 2, to be restored to sanity. Okay. My solution is that, well, my problem is that my thoughts are not in proportion to reality, which is considered maybe an insane thought. If my thoughts are not in proportion to reality, I may want to consider that to be an insane thought. And What is the same thought? It's reality. For me, it's reality with a capital R. My solution is God. God is reality. God is love. So Bill's story is an example slash illustration. It's just like, uh, he gave you kind of like the first chapter there is kind of like, let me just give you a sneak preview of my story. So that's an example of an illustration, and everywhere in that story, you can just see his journey through the steps. How it works is steps 3 and 4. That's where you're going to find 3 and 4 in how it works. Chapter 6 is steps 5 through 11. 5 through 11. And then working with others, to the wives, the family afterward, 2 employees, and a vision for you. Those are all step 12. Those are all forms of step 12. Um, um, it's been pointed out to me that like steps 1, 2, and 3 kind of tell me what my problem is and what the solution is. And steps 4 through 10 are my solution. Those are my actions for my solution. And it just really, when my sponsor took me through this, I found it to be very helpful. So I wanted to share her breakdown that she shared with me and that I share with my sponsees, the breakdown of the table of contents.